What is the best VR headset of 2021 and going into 2022? In October, we got a ton of announcements for new headsets, and with the holidays right around the corner and 2022 starting, you might be looking for a gift for your kids, for your significant other, or even for yourself. The best overall headset right now, and for another year at least, is the Oculus Quest 2, also known as the Meta Quest 2. This headset is the cheapest headset on the list at only $300 for the 128GB version and $400 for the 256GB version. But even at that cheap price, it is just as capable, if not more capable, than most of the other headsets in this video. For example, having a higher resolution than some of the other headsets like the Valve Index. It is a standalone headset, which means you do not need a computer to use the headset. It all works built in with an XR2 processor built into it. All you need is a phone to set it up for the first time, and that's it. There are hundreds of fantastic games on the Oculus Quest store, including The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Onward, Beat Saber, Rec Room, and so much more, including tons of free games, by the way. You can also use this headset to watch movies in Netflix, meditate in tranquil environments, play table tennis with friends, or fight off hordes of enemies in Blade and Sorcery with some lightsabers. All of that said, if you are buying a VR headset for your child and they specifically want to play Minecraft or Roblox, be warned that you cannot play these games natively on this headset. Also, if you want to play some of the AAA VR game experiences like Half-Life Alyx or Boneworks, you also can't play those specific games natively on this headset. Though many AAA games have been ported over to the Quest, such as Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, and as mentioned before, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, one of my all-time favorite games. Now, if you do want to play Minecraft or Half-Life Alyx, and if you own or can get a VR-ready gaming PC, which can cost you about $1,000 or more, you can actually connect your Oculus Quest 2 to the gaming PC to play any PC VR game, including Minecraft, Roblox, Boneworks, etc. In fact, the Oculus Quest 2 is one of the only headsets right now that you can use to connect to the PC completely wirelessly, assuming you have a good router. For this reason alone, I prefer using my Quest 2 over any other headset because I just hate getting tangled up in wires. Add on to that the 120Hz refresh rate, the 1832 by 1920 pixels per eye, hand tracking, and you have the best all-around headset on the market right now. I will say though, out of the box, the headset is not very comfortable. It only comes with a flimsy elastic strap, and the built-in audio is nothing amazing. Cutting corners on comfort is how they got the price as low as they did, but with just a few accessories, you can turn this headset into a very amazing and comfortable experience. I have a video that I'll link to below that shows off the most essential accessories I think every Quest user should get, but if nothing else, you should at least look at getting a new head strap. My favorite head strap is the HTC Deluxe Audio Strap, which comes with built-in headphones that are a massive upgrade. But this strap costs $100 as is, and you need some adapters on Etsy for it to work on the Quest. It provides the best overall experience, but it is expensive, so if you want a cheaper alternative, I really like the Kiwi Elite Strap. Both options will be linked down below. But whatever you do, do not get the Elite Strap from Oculus. Both Oculus Elite straps are extremely prone to breaking, and I can guarantee you that it will break at some point. Now, despite a few comfort issues that are easily remedied with a few accessories, the Quest 2 is still hands down the best option for getting into VR for almost everyone. But if you already have a VR-ready PC, you might be interested in something specifically for PC VR. While the Oculus Quest 2 is the clear winner all around for VR headsets and for the budget options, there isn't exactly a clear winner for the enthusiast level headsets because there's a lot more competition. Keep in mind that all of these PC VR headsets that I'm going to talk about will require a high-end gaming PC to work. Right now, the Quest 2 is the only fully standalone VR headset that you can get for under $1,000. And before anyone starts commenting, I don't consider the Vive Flow to be a fully capable VR headset, but more on that later. You could get the Vive Focus 3 for about $1,300, but that's primarily a business focus headset, making the Quest 2 the only real consumer-based standalone headset right now. So for dedicated PC VR, the best all-around enthusiast PC VR headset is probably the Valve Index, which costs about $1,000 for the entire bundle. This runs on Steam VR and base station tracking, which is the best tracking you can get right now. To understand, the Oculus Quest uses inside-out camera tracking, which means it can only track your controllers in front of you, where the cameras on the front of the headset can actually see them. Base station tracking, on the other hand, is used by most PC VR headsets and requires two base stations to be set up at opposite ends of the room. With these, you can track your controllers no matter where they are, as long as the base stations can see them. Plus, base station tracking is compatible with a lot of different devices, meaning you can add trackers and other controllers to get full body tracking, for example, if that's something that you're interested in. Plus, base station tracking is generally considered to be more accurate and precise, and so for all of those reasons, a lot of people prefer a base station tracked PC VR headset as opposed to just the Quest 2 for PC VR. So going back to the Valve Index specifically, it outshines the Oculus Quest 2 in several other ways as well, including higher comfort out of the box, better controllers with individual finger tracking, and a higher field of view, which essentially lets you see more of the world around you. A small field of view will make you feel like you're looking out of binoculars, whereas a wider field of view will open up your vision more. That said, it does have a lower resolution than the Oculus Quest 2 at only 1440 by 1600 per eye, and it does require wires to be connected to the PC. But being connected to wires can be a good thing. One problem with using Quest 2 for PC VR, even with the link cable, is that all of the data needs to be compressed, and you can get compression artifacts that make the image overall look worse. It's not terrible, but it will never look as good as a dedicated PC VR headset with uncompressed, low latency data transfers. I personally think the trade-off is worth it to have a wireless PC VR headset, but if you value graphics more than anything else, a wired PC VR headset like the Valve Index is a good choice, despite the lower resolution. One other thing to consider is that this was Valve's first attempt at hardware, and it definitely shows in the durability of the hardware. Almost everyone I've talked to has had to replace a controller or some other part of the headset at some point. In fact, I know someone who's had to replace the Index controller 6 times due to analog stick drift. That said, the Index controllers are the most envied controllers on the market due to their individual finger tracking. It can sense when each individual finger is touching the controller, which allows you more freedom with hand gestures. The Quest 2 tracks your thumb and index fingers, but your other 3 fingers are clumped together for tracking purposes, limiting the amount of hand gestures that you can make. Overall, the Valve Index is the most popular headset among VR enthusiasts, but it is getting old, and there are a lot of rumors about a new headset releasing from Valve called the Valve Deckard. Now, I wouldn't get your hopes up for this Valve Deckard, as Valve is infamous for moving slowly and sometimes never even releasing a product. In fact, some people are suggesting that it could be 2 to 3 years before the next Valve headset releases. I personally have avoided buying the Valve Index because I'm satisfied with my Quest 2, but if you want to jump into PC VR right now, the Valve Index is a safe purchase. Now, while the Valve Index is the best overall PC VR headset, I want to mention a few others. So for example, if you want to experience the best displays that VR has to offer, I highly recommend the HP Reverb G2, which has a massive resolution of 2160 by 2160. As you can see here in this video by Tariel Wood, which go check out his channel by the way, the Reverb G2 looks way clearer than the Quest or Index, and it only costs $600 for the headset and controllers. Now, some people have complained about the controller tracking, partially because it uses inside-out tracking that just isn't as good as the Oculus Quest, but the company just announced they're releasing an updated version of the headset with improvements in controller tracking, as well as several other upgrades to the eye relief and the field of view and a whole bunch of other stuff. Add on to that the fact that the strap is basically the same exact super comfortable strap on the Index with built-in headphones, and you have a fantastic headset if you're okay with the inside-out tracking. Now, if you're dead set on wireless VR but don't want an Oculus Quest, then you might want to consider an HTC Vive Pro 2 plus the wireless adapter. Now, I don't really recommend this headset unless you really want wireless PC VR that isn't Facebook, or I mean Meta, whatever, and the reason is mainly because of the price. The headset bundle with base stations and controllers will cost you $1,400, and that doesn't even include the wireless adapter, which will cost you another $350. Also, the wireless adapter only works if you face one direction while playing. Turning around can ruin the connection. Beyond that, the built-in mic and controllers are probably the worst in the industry. The controllers don't even have an analog stick, and because of this, many people who do use the Vive headset actually prefer to use the Valve Index controllers instead of the Vive wands, which works because both headsets use the exact same base station tracking technology. Outside of all of that and the price, it's not a terrible headset. It has 120 Hz refresh rate and a higher resolution than the Reverb G2 with 2448 by 2448 pixels per eye, but keep in mind though that the higher refresh rate and higher pixels will require higher PC specs as well. Most people might not be able to run the Vive Pro at full resolution and refresh rate unless they're running a NASA computer, and honestly, if you do have a NASA computer and want to spend that much on a VR headset, then you might want to consider the Vive Focus 2 or the next headset, the only prosumer headset on the market. If you're willing to drop $2,000 on a VR headset to get the best that technology has to offer, then I recommend you check out the Varjo Aero, which will cost you about $1,990, and that is without base stations required for tracking or controllers, which means if you choose this option, you'll have to spend a couple of $100 more to get the Valve Index controllers and some base stations. That said, the headset has the highest resolution of any consumer headset right now with 2880 by 2720 per eye, eye and a 90Hz refresh rate. It also comes with built-in eye tracking, which can be used for foveated rendering, a system that basically allows games to run better on your PC by not rendering the full resolution of the game except for when you're looking at it, which means you may get the benefits of a higher resolution without the need for a NASA PC. It is touted as the big no compromise headset, but it doesn't even have a built-in mic. It comes with an attachable mic in the box, but I personally find it ridiculous that you're paying $2,000 for the headset and they couldn't even put in a built-in mic. Having to attach the mic anytime I want to play just adds more friction to using the thing, and I personally love my Quest 2 just because of how easy it is to just grab the headset, put it on, and play. Now, if you're interested in buying a headset like this, I doubt you'd be watching this video to find out about it. Thrillseeker and many others have extensive reviews of it that you can check out if you're interested, and I highly recommend you watch them before you go out and drop $2,000 on a headset. But now it's time to mention the best niche headsets, or the best VR headsets for very specific audiences. First off, PlayStation VR. This is a great option if you already own a PlayStation and want to get into VR for cheap. But I didn't mention it earlier in the video because it is extremely old and outdated, and PlayStation is probably launching the PSVR 2 sometime in 2022. So I really don't recommend getting this unless you can find one for really cheap and you just don't want to get the Oculus Quest 2. Second, there's the HTC Vive Flow. This is a tiny standalone consumer headset that costs $500 but is not meant for gaming. Instead, it's marketed towards lifestyle activities like watching movies or meditating. It is extremely light and comfortable, but it does require being plugged into a wall or a portable battery. Also, you need to use an Android phone as the controller, and it only works with Android phones, which means if you use Apple, you won't be able to use this headset. Again, it is a very niche product with a very specific audience, and frankly, I don't recommend you get it because you can get the Quest 2 for cheaper that does everything the Vive Flow does and more. That said, the Vive Flow is extremely light and comfortable, so if that's important for you and you really want one to watch just like movies or whatever, then this might be a good option. And now finally, we can finish off this list with the best headsets that are coming out in the future. These are headsets that are rumored, leaked, or fully announced but just haven't released yet. One headset that I'm really excited for is the Oculus Cambria headset, which might actually be called the Meta Cambria since Meta is rebranding themselves. It will be a standalone headset like the Quest 2 but with upgraded features that not everyone will need or even want. It will be more expensive than the Quest 2 as well, which means that even after the Cambria releases, it will not replace the Quest 2, and the Quest 2 will still be a good option. The Cambria headset will likely have eye tracking, face tracking, and full color mixed reality pass-through, but beyond that, not much is known about it. Probably the most anticipated headset right now from the October announcements is the Pimax Reality 12K headset, which costs a whopping $2,400, and it won't start shipping until the last quarter of 2022. While we haven't seen a physical version of this headset, which makes me doubt its existence, Pimax has announced that it will have a 6K resolution per eye, a whopping 200 degrees field of view, which is bigger than pretty much any headset I've mentioned, inside-out tracking like the Quest, hand tracking, full inside-out body tracking, eye tracking, and it will work as a standalone headset like the Oculus Quest or as a PCVR headset using WiGig for extremely high-fidelity wireless PCVR. Basically, anything you could ever hope to have in a VR headset, Pimax announced that they're going to cram it into this headset. What's even better is that if you buy any of their other headsets right now, you'll be able to trade in that headset for a pre-order discount equal to the original price you paid for the headset. So if you buy one of their headsets that costs, I don't know, $1,000 right now, you can trade that in and get $1,000 off this headset when it comes out. Overall, I'm extremely skeptical because we haven't seen anything that amazing from Pimax, but if they can deliver on all of these features, I'm definitely interested in getting my hands on one. It is expected to ship at the end of next year, but I am very skeptical that they'll be able to deliver all of these features and ship it next year. Arpara headsets are extremely small, lightweight headsets that use micro OLED displays to get a 5K resolution per eye on a tiny device. They are a brand new company, but they have shipped a few headsets to influencers like Thrillseeker, proving that they have a somewhat viable product. Their website says that it'll ship next year in August or September, and it sounds like they'll have a few different headsets depending on whether you want standalone headsets or PCVR. I'm waiting to see more conclusive reviews of this thing before making any judgments, but I do believe that they will be pioneering the next generation of VR PSVR with micro OLED displays, allowing for much smaller form factors. The Lynx R-1 just finished their Kickstarter. This headset aims to hit all 4 aspects of XR devices. That is, it will be both standalone and PC compatible, and it will do both VR and AR. In fact, AR, or mixed reality, was a big selling point for the headset, along with it being extremely small due to their unique lens design. The Kickstarter headset should be shipping early 2022. The headset I'm most looking forward to personally is the Decagear. I've talked about that headset extensively on my channel, but they just announced that they won't be shipping it until the end of 2022 due to some chip shortages. In fact, I doubt many of the headsets I just talked about that haven't released yet will actually be able to deliver on time because of the ongoing shortages and delays. That said, the Decagear will be a wireless PC VR headset with eye tracking, face tracking, hip tracking, and more. There's also rumors that it will be selling with a PC console-like box that will allow it to play all Steam VR games completely wirelessly, which means this headset could revive PC VR, making it much more accessible to people who don't already own a VR-ready PC. Now that's pretty much it for the new headsets. If you made it this far into the video, you are amazing. I assume most people stop about halfway through the enthusiast headset section because most people watching this video are honestly just fine with an Oculus Quest 2. That's all you need. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. It really helps my channel when you watch the full video. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye.